Arlington, Texas, April 26. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell holds a cue card during the first round of the 2019 NFL Draft at HIT. Photo by Ronald Martinez, Getty Images. With the 2019 Reese Senior Bowl, NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, and East-West Shrine Game now all in the rearview mirror, the focus on the 2019 NFL Draft is going to get pretty intense. The Senior Bowl was one of the most evident scenes that some of these alumni could really stand out at the next level. The Texas Longhorns football program has plenty of talented and accomplished alumni that could be selected in the 2019 NFL Draft, or at least make an NFL roster. Last year saw a handful of former Texas football players selected in the NFL Draft, but this could be a much more potent class this year. There's a good list of 10 to 12 former Texas football players that are candidates to be selected in the 2019 NFL Draft. Of that list, there's maybe one or two players that have an outside shot at becoming first-round selections. At best, most of the players in this draft class that are former Longhorns could be Day 2 selections. Of the former Horns up for the 2019 NFL Draft, only one of them is an early entrant. Texas had 4 key players that were up for important early entrant 2019 NFL Draft decisions, but only one decided to pull the trigger and declare. The good news for the Horns is that there is enough depth with that position group to make up for the loss this upcoming season. Here's a look at a gauging of the 2019 NFL Draft stock for some of the biggest prospects that are products of the Texas Longhorns football program. Page 2 LANDOVER, MD, September 1. Breckenhager. Photo by Rob Carr, Getty Images. The Horns had a very experienced front seven lining up on the defensive side of the ball this past season. That front seven was highlighted by a defensive line that encompassed only seniors that were starting. This front seven was also one of the most reliable and successful parts of this Texas team under defensive coordinator Todd Orlando. One of those starting senior defensive linemen this past season was the entertaining senior captain defensive end Breckenhager. During a down senior campaign, Hager posted 2.5 sacks, 7.5 tackles for loss, and 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Hager isn't heading into this offseason on a high note, though. What's encouraging for Hager's case was the apparent progress he showed last offseason with head coach Tom Herman. He made enough progress in the eyes of the coaching staff, on and off the field, to be named one of the 5 captains for the 2018 season. Hager has to earn some brownie points with NFL scouts and general managers for that. Some national pundits were high on Hager to start the 2018 campaign, but that died off with a rather lacking amount of production on the field. Hager was the least productive defensive lineman for the Horns as he posted his worst season statistically since 2015. He had a down season when it mattered most, and that won't work in his favor. Some pundits like DraftSite.com project Hager to go undrafted. Verdict, stock down. Page 3 NEW Orleans, Louisiana, January 1. Lamont Gaillard. Photo by Jonathan Bachman, Getty Images. One of the most difficult prospects to figure out in relation to the 2019 NFL Draft class from the Horns football program is the speedy and athletic linebacker Gary Johnson. Whatever way you look at it, Johnson should fall no later than the 6th round of the upcoming NFL Draft. He's too athletic, versatile, and talented not to get a shot by that late in the 2019 NFL Draft. Former JUCO prospects can be more difficult to judge for NFL scouts than 4-year players from the Power 5 level. Since Johnson only got to play on the 40 acres for 2 seasons, he'll need to have a nice showing at the NFL Combine and any workouts and the Pro Day for Texas. He didn't play in any of the recent showcase games either. Depending on the pundit and/or site you follow, Johnson falls anywhere between a projected middle-round selection to a 7th-round prospect. Draft Blaster projects Johnson as a late-round, 5th to 7th round pick for the 2019 NFL Draft. Bleacher Report put him as a projected middle-round selection in terms of where he's falling on big boards. The Draft Network describes some of the weaknesses for Johnson as something that could be a lot to overcome at the NFL level. Some of his block shedding and decision-making from the past 2 seasons were questioned. And those are challenges that are difficult to prove he's overcome in events like a pro day or the NFL Combine. Verdict, even page 4. Use your arrows to browse Stillwater. Okay, October 27, running back Justice Hill. Oklahoma State leads 31-14 at the half. Photo by Brian Barr, Getty Images. In terms of what a player could prove in a limited spotlight for Shrine Game workouts, former Texas football senior defensive tackle Chris Nelson did all he could earlier this month. A defensive tackle that racked up 39 total tackles and 5.5 tackles for loss in a key spot for the Horns' front seven should be getting more hype for this draft. For Shrine Game workouts, Nelson proved to have an aptitude for getting off the line of scrimmage quickly and using his compact frame to surprise opposing linemen. Nelson did start to get some attention from NFL teams over the course of Shrine Game week. He flew under the radar in his time with the Horns, so now is the time for him to stand out. Entering the 2018 regular season, the draft analyst projected Nelson as an undrafted free agent. That projection could still hold true, but Nelson definitely made himself noticed in the Shrine Game. But that was before the 2018 campaign began, and Nelson showed a ton of toughness, durability, and power in numerous venues since then. A late rise up draft boards could come through for Nelson if he continues to prove his worth during workouts leading up to the 2019 NFL Draft. In a deep pool of defensive tackle for this draft class, Nelson is ranked in the top 35 by Draft Scout. A selection in the later rounds of this upcoming NFL Draft is within the realm of possibility for Nelson. Verdict, stock up. Use your arrows to browse.